Hi everyone, in today's tutorial I'll be teaching you how to cut and also how to sew an A-line dress with train, just like the one that you are currently seeing on your screen. I made this dress as an inner for a wedding dress that I made recently. This will be worn under a wedding dress, this particular wedding dress. I made this wedding dress as well, and I've uploaded detailed tutorial on how to cut and sew this wedding dress. But the A-line dress you saw earlier is an inner for this particular wedding dress. But every step that I'll be mentioning in this tutorial is the same way you will cut an A-line dress like this that does not have a breast pad or that does not have joining on the half length. Here are the basic measurements that you need. So this is the 4 yards that I got. I folded it into 4 is the inner. So our hip is 46. 46 divided by 4. So this is where I'll start measuring from. Like this is where I'll start my one from. So 46 divided by 4 is 11 and half. So this is 11 and half. This is 11 and half. What is remaining is what I will use for the A-line extension, which is another 11 and half. So times 2 of our hip is what I folded here, like from here to here is times 2 of our hip, and I used what is remaining for the extension. I folded all the 4 yards. If you want your front to be fuller than this, you can do times 3 of the, when you divide the hip, when you divide the hip by 4, you can do times 3 of it. Depends on the quantity of fabric that you have. But for me, this is 4 yards, and for the front fullness, I'll be doing times 2 of our hip. So what I will do next is, because the back has to be longer than the front, I will cut this place open and drag it up a bit. Today, I'm filming and I'm talking at the same time. I'm not making a voiceover. It's been long I did this. I've always been making voiceover. I just felt like since there's no noise around, let me try this method to save time instead of filming, going back to edit, muting, putting voice over. I hope this works. I hope I don't still have to mute it and still add my voiceover later. Yeah. Okay, so after cutting like this, depending on how long you want the back, like depending on how much you want the back to be longer than the front, then I'm using this side as the down. I'm using this side as the down because see, this fabric is not equal. Where I bought it, they didn't cut it equally. Look at it. This part is short. So it's all these things you put into consideration. So I'm using, but here they're on the same length. But here, see, the one that is down is short. And it's the wrong side that is facing up. This fabric actually has two faces that you can use as the right side. If you are sewing this fabric for the fair skin person, this should be your right side. But if you are sewing it for a dark skin person, this should be your right side. It's a very good lacquer. I like this kind of lacquer that I got. So this is my right side because she's not really fair. She's a little bit dark, and this is the wrong side. So I'll be dragging this up now. Dragging it up with. So the thing is, it's an off-shoulder dress, singlet kind of dress, like tiny strap. So for the strap, I'll be using 6 inches. So I'm putting 6 inches up like this. I'm putting the 6 inches up like this. Then this dress length, the dress length is 60. So this is 60. This is my 60, and I'll be adding just 1 inch for folding the down. So this is where I'll stop my length. I hope my explanation is clear. I'll be taking this out. What I'll do next is I'll be dividing our chest point by 2. Our chest is 12, divided by 2 is 6. So from here, I'll be measuring my 6 this way. This is the 6. The next is the armhole. Remember that 6 inches is up for the strap. The strap, that's the singlet, the sleeve kind of. So I'll be putting that 6 inches up, and for armhole, I am using 8, which is 16. So this is going to be an armhole. This is the armhole. Then from here, I'll be measuring 2 inches downward. On these 2 inches, I'll measure a bust. Our bust is 40, our bust is 42, but considering that this fabric is very, very stretchy, I'm just going to be using 40, which is 10. I'm deducting 2 inches from it. Then I'll be adding 1.5 inch as the sewing allowance. So this is what our armhole is looking like. From these 2 inches, I'll measure 5 inches downward, and on the 5 inches where I'll measure our waist. Our waist is 36, 37. My phone holder on my tripod just broke. I didn't even see it coming, and my phone fell from height that is higher than me, has been taller than me. My phone fell. I'm just so lucky that the screen did not break. Please, if you watch my video, help me to be engaging. Oh, it's not easy. Oh, it's well. Help me to be liking my videos, drop comments so that the comment section can get engaging. I'm sorry I'm taking your time to say this. Please help me to be subscribing. Watch all the adverts that are playing on my video. Please, it's not easy. Like, this now is broken. It's not even about this. It was God that saved my phone. Like, it fell from a very tall height. So as I was saying, this person's waist is 37, which is supposed to be 9.25, but I'll be deducting 1 inch considering that this fabric is very, very stretchy. So I'm marking 8.25. When I say 1 inch, that means I've deducted 8.25 times 4 is 33. So instead of 37, I'm using 33. That's I've deducted 4 inches. This fabric is super stretchy. So I've deducted 4 inches from our waist. So I'm adding 1.5 inch to this. Then from these 5 inches, I'll be measuring 4 inches downward. On these 4 inches, I'll be measuring our first hip. I call it first hip. It is basically the skirt waist. I consider it whenever I have to sew a fitted dress so that everywhere can be fitted. So here she's 40. 40 is supposed to be 10. I'll be deducting half inch here. So I'll be marking 9.5. That means I'm deducting 2 inches from the 40. Then I'll be adding 1.5 inch sewing allowance. Let me connect the allowance now. Now for the hip, from here I'm still going to measure 4 inches downward, and on these 4 inches I'll be dividing a hip, which is 46, by I'll be deducting by 4 is supposed to be 11.5, but I'll be deducting half inch. I'll be measuring, like I'm marking 11. Then I'm adding 1.5 inch. That means I'm using 44 instead of 46 for the hip. So this is our hip. I hope my markings are clear. Now, what is next is to determine the new length. Considering that this dress does not have a half length, determining the new length might be a bit, like figuring out where will be the new length on this folded fabric might be a bit difficult for some persons, but this is the easiest way to do it. Just know that you know your bust point, you know your waist, you know your skirt waist. This is skirt waist. This 4 inches downward from the waistline is the skirt waist. So from this skirt waist, we're going to measure. For a short person, you can use 16, between 16 to 18. For a tall person, you can use between 17 to 19. This person is not really a tall person. It's because this dress has to be extremely long, considering that it is an inner for a wedding dress that is very, very long. Exact, like actual full length is just 57. She's not a tall person. But for this particular dress, I'm using 60 for the front, and then like 65 or thereabouts, or 66 for the back. So she's not really a tall person. That's the summary of what I'm saying. So from this 4, what I'll be considering is 16. This is our nail length. Again, to figure out nail length on a fabric that does not have half length, if it's difficult for you, you know the bust point, you know the waistline, you know the skirt waist. Skirt waist is 4 inches below the waistline. And if you want to consider from the waistline, just measure 20 for a short person from the waistline, but for a tall person, measure like 22. That is going to be the nail length. So, but me, I'm considering from a skirt waist is the same thing, like I said. From a skirt waist, I'm using 16. So on this 16 is where I'll be measuring our nail length, and you don't have to measure the round nail for on people. You can just imagine it. Since our hip is 46, depending on how fitted I want here to be, I'm just going to be deducting like 6 inches from the nail length, from the hip. So what I'll be dividing here is 40, which is 10. Then I'm adding 1 inch sewing allowance, not 1.5 like I've been adding. So I'll be connecting this way, and I'll pick up my ruler and rule this out this way. Now for this back, this dress doesn't have a zip, so I'll not be considering zip allowance. What I'll be using at this back is just half inch or maybe 1 inch. So I'll use 1 inch from up to the new length. But you see new length for this back, I'm not going to use 16. I'll come up a bit. Like I'll not be using the same new length. I want it to come up a bit. So I'll come up a bit here. I'll be coming up by 1.5 inch here. So for this one, I'm just going to leave it like this. I'll be cropping it like this to meet the lower part of the dress here. If you want the neckline to be, this is like a four corner kind of neckline now, straight. You leave it straight. If you want it V, you just measure the depth of the V and make it V. But I want it round. I'm just going to be curving it a bit. So now let's cut. For the strap, I'm just going to, since it's 6 that I deducted, I'll be cutting, because it's stretchy, I'll not be cutting that 6, I'll be cutting 5. You know, it's front and back, so I'll be cutting 10. Front and back will be like this. So this, I'll be cutting 10 like this. Then I'll be adding half inch to join it to the front and the back. So I'll be cutting 11. And the width will just be maybe 1.5. 1.5. So that when it's folded this way, the width will be just like this. So I'll be cutting that off camera. Then for this side, you know, for you to give it like this length has to be longer than this length. In a case where this length is longer than this length, it will not give you that flowing effect. See, if I try to bring this down now, this is supposed to reach this place and even extend beyond it. So if you see that your fabric is not enough for you to leave it like this, just crop it here, I cut it out like this, because this length from here to this side has to be longer than from here to this side for you to be able to leave it like this. So I'm just going to be cutting it out now. To sew this, the first thing I will do is to turn the strap. After turning the strap, this is what it's looking like. Then I brought it back to stitch it on the chest of the dress on both sides. So I'll be stitching the right side of the strap to the right side of the dress on both sides, and also on the back, for front and back. I'll be doing this before folding the neckline because I did not turn the neckline. I neatly folded it. the neckline and the armhole. So when you are done stitching your strap on top of it, you proceed to folding your neckline, then you stitch the armhole as well. After stitching the armhole, considering that there is joining at the back of this dress, you close up the joining from up to down, and obviously this dress does not even need a zip because the fabric is very stretchy. So you're going to be stitching the two back panels together from up to down to the whole length of the dress to where the train stops. And when you are done doing this, the next is to basically shape on both sides. While you are shaping, please make sure you deduct like 2 inches from each measurement if you are using a fabric that is as stretchy as this. And don't forget that whenever you have to cut and sew an A-line dress with train, a mermaid dress with train without joining on the half length, every step in this tutorial is basically the same step you would take. The major thing that will differ is just that if your fabric is not stretchy, you don't have to deduct anything from your measurement while shaping. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not. If this video has been helpful to you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have any question, ask me down in the comment section. I'll see you in my next tutorial.